U.S. election candidate Joe Biden's victory could speed up Emmanuel Macron's dream to form a European Union army alongside NATO, a political expert has warned. Speaking to Express, Professor of National Security and Political Science at the University of New Haven Matthew Schmidt said Democratic candidate Joe Biden will be wholeheartedly embraced by European leaders across the Brussels bloc. Professor Schmidt argued anyone different from incumbent President Trump would have looked better in the eyes of EU leaders as they look to reinstate their powerful before Trump status across the world. But the American expert admitted that regardless of who wins this month's crucial election in the U.S., the United States will remain an unchallenged military power. Asked if he believed that a Biden victory could speed up French President Emmanuel Macron's dream of setting up an EU army to replace NATO, he replied, "Yes, and there's a rationale for having that. And generally people have spoken to that in terms of a European Rapid Reaction Force, which is something significantly less than an army. It's something like a much smaller Marine Corps in the U.S. sense of things that would be quickly deployed to hotspots, but it wouldn't be large enough or capable enough to maintain the fight very long, more than a few weeks, say, without having to call in NATO troops or Americans as allies. And so to that effect, I think that that's important for the EU to have, and I don't think it particularly weakens NATO. In fact, a rapid reaction force could be easily integrated as a unit into NATO, because remember we don't have NATO troops. We have different countries that contribute troops to NATO, and so why couldn't the EU act in that way and contribute as a rapid reaction force to NATO, but still have independent control over it and be able to send it to places that the EU decides to send to for security reasons, that NATO wouldn't go to. Eurozone bond yields rose on Tuesday with markets increasingly confident challenger Joe Biden would win the U.S. presidential election, although trading was quiet as investors refrained from taking on new large positions before the outcome.